Hello, welcome to the No program, Soul Matters. This is video 1 of 2. We're finally on to the second page of the self-health journey steps. And this workshop is all about emotional control. So what is the knowing in Soul Matters? I'm going to quickly touch on individual points of awareness, our eternal life back home, and how we all shape energy. So the higher organizing energy creates points of individual awareness, which are called souls. And these are all originating out of the second level of existence. Souls have continued experiences, and they have an expression and a presence in the third, in the fourth, and in the higher fifth levels of existence. And the way in which all souls are aware and how they are connected, they share individual awarenesses with other souls, but at a much higher level of complexity, and it's non-linear intelligence. Each soul subconsciously connects to the defaulted awake awareness of its fraction portion, fraction and coupled portion. We're going to talk about fraction portions of souls, which is just, as the name indicates, a part of the soul. And coupled will become obvious as we get through this workshop and subsequent workshops, what it means when a fraction of the soul couples with another part or another entity lower down in order to experience more. The soul is continuously connected to that portion, that fraction of itself that's now coupled up. It is also simultaneously connected to all corresponding expressions in the third, fourth, and fifth level, cascading through the various levels at all times. So the soul is aware at multiple points simultaneously. So individual points of awareness, soul awareness enhances experience by further increasing the illusion of separateness through individualization. When we spoke about all that is wanting to experience itself and creating the levels of existence by hiding parts or dimensions of being, and as I said, the complexity of awareness narrows as we get down the levels of existence. So we go from simultaneous or group awareness to more individualized awareness, and this individual point of awareness, which is our soul, enhances experience because you have a further illusion of separateness. And then the soul itself, when it fractions off, and these fractions couple and go even deeper into the lower fifth, sixth, and seventh levels of existence, then you have a very strong individualization and the creation of an illusion of separateness and being disconnected. And this is achieved by individualization. The soul awareness, when experienced in a singular soul entity, is experienced as conscious self-awareness. So this is now that conscious self-awareness that a soul has as an individual entity, but it shares awareness, and it shares its own awareness with other souls, and it can reach and have the experience of other souls. So it has shared experience. This self-awareness is experienced across a spectrum of diminishing abilities and intensities as it moves to lower levels. That's that narrowing of awareness. The soul's self-awareness is capable of being aware in multiple dimensions simultaneously and in various fractions at the same time. So it can fraction a portion that couples, and it can fraction various portions simultaneously. And then the awake awareness of the coupled fraction always naturally defaults to the lowest level. It is experiencing coupling in. We're going to talk a little bit more about coupling just now, but coupling is where the portion of the soul couples up with an entity that has its presence and existence and experience in lower levels, and it couples. And when it does so, it experiences awake awareness in the physical when it's awake. And that awake awareness is a very narrow awareness. It's very much a separate feeling. But it naturally defaults to that lowest part of the coupling experience. So if the coupling experience is happening in the 7th level, then the awake awareness will default to the 7th level. If the coupling experience is happening in the 6th level, then it will default to the 6th level. So it's always to the lowest level where the coupling is taking place. And then soul characteristics. As we've said, souls are rooted in level 2, but experience through presence in levels 3, 4, and higher level 5. They exist eternally amongst other souls in pods or groups, which are sharing similar stages of experience or growth. They are aware both of other souls' experiences through group awareness and also of their self-individual experience, which experiences are more intense and deeper when it fractions off a portion of its awareness, and then it couples that with an entity that is at a lower level of existence, in a level of existence where the base matrix is different and the way in which experience is had is quite different, more intense and slower. This fractioning and coupling is a very important part of how souls experience much deeper and more intensely through fractioning and coupling. The souls are focused on experiences while coupled. In other words, it's all about experiencing whatever is being experienced, the emotion, the thought, the physical experience, but they are still self-aware, even in that fraction portion, especially when out of thought and out of whatever is being experienced. So when it steps back and then always remains able to affect, although I'm not using the word control, but affect, quite strongly affect through inner world and inner intention, which comes from levels which are higher up. It's coupled ego entity. So the coupled ego entity is quite strongly affected through the will and the intention, especially when it's consciously applied. Then talking a little bit about eternal life back home, we are on holiday when we are experiencing a fraction portion of our soul, which is how we are experiencing ourselves in our awake awareness. And because we are coupled, we are experiencing ourselves in a temporary physical life, which then becomes also a temporary life in the next level higher up and so on, which we'll go into more detail in the next workshop. But just know that our true place of home, that's where we have our eternal life, is back home. And that is in higher levels, levels 3, which is where our soul pods are located, and we continuously experience in levels 3, 4, and 5. And then souls simultaneously enjoy a multidimensional existence, which I've already touched upon. They exist not only in different levels, but they also have awareness across other souls, and they also have fractions of themselves coupled to ego entities, and they are now able to experience in these fraction coupled existences. So they simultaneously enjoy a multi-dimensional existence and a focused fraction coupled existence. It's all happening at the same time. So the soul is experiencing levels 3, 4, and higher 5, and then through their fraction portions, lower 5, 6, and 7, they can have more than one fraction portion. Major intense experiences and new soul growth during fraction coupling is made possible by a veil. This is important to understand. This veiling off or losing connection and memory outside of the physical memory is what makes the illusion possible. So major intense experiences and new soul growth during fraction coupling is made possible by a veil, and this veiling off is of non-physical memories, even memories of our non-awake states in our night time when we sleep. There are certain things that happen which we'll talk about in further workshops, and we don't have memory of those. And then our conceptual understanding at soul level is lost as the awareness narrows down, and we have linear thought, and we are very linear in the way that we understand things. We can get insights, and we can benefit from certain conceptual understandings from time to time. And as a matter of fact, ego entities that are not coupled do not benefit from any real conceptual understanding, abstract understanding, the way that the fraction coupled entities do. So that is why in the physical existence on Earth, human entities are able to go much further than just plain linear lower thought, and we can entertain and utilize our conceptual abilities. But these are very much less than our true soul level multi-complex conceptual abilities. And then the veil also hides our shared awareness in other souls. We cannot experience that as focused awake awareness entities that are coupled. Then the shaping of energy. This is how coupled entities affect their experiencing by using the available energy and then shaping it. There are two types of energy being used at all times. There's the physically ingested by the physical body, which is basic energy. And this is energy at atomic and molecular level. And then there's freely, I use the word freely in inverted commas, because it's free from the perspective that you're not even aware that you're taking it, but it's not unlimited. And it's not unlimited, especially when you're not taking it in the way you're supposed to be taking it in, and more so when you're wasting it or letting it be drained out of you. But this organizing energy that we bring into our bodies, which organizes our activities in our bodies as far as cellular activities are concerned, then spills over into our emotional and mind, and how we organize our thoughts and how we organize our lives, but more so then into our creation, how we go about creating our environment, our surroundings, our circumstances. This organizing energy is very powerful, and it is divided into higher and lower, as you are aware of. The lower, more animalistic life energy, and then the higher energy that we are going to be utilizing for more creative and more interesting aspects of ourselves. That also forms part of this organizing energy. And it's utilizing this organizing energy in the best possible manner that allows for a joyful, passionate, and happy life. And the way in which you use your energy, the daily amount of physically ingested energy must be sufficient to be able to continue to interact with the physical body in the physical world in a healthy way. That's obvious. And then the amount of organizing energy absorbed, freely taken on a daily basis, especially in our sleep, should be used for enjoyable creative activities rather than being painfully donated, subconsciously so, but still on a daily basis. Most of our energy is subconsciously drained to what I like to call EMEs. And we'll get into that in the next video. So remember, stop standing in your own way. Stop making excuses. Stop talking about why you can't. Stop sabotaging yourself. Decide which direction you are going in and take action. One decision at a time, one moment at a time. Now, you'll also need to know about the ego's origins, the ego's components of emotions and lower thoughts, and EMEs. And with that, let's keep going.